I'm sure that a lot of you already know that the mighty Zentreya, coming all the way from the future, almost died to a car. But how strong is that car? What is its power level? I mean, if you pay real close attention, you will see that the point of impact, the wall on itself, it's completely intact. That's kinda weird, don't you think? So I ran a lot of cars through a lot of walls. In-game, of course, just to kind of see what's the maximum required speed to destroy the car, but not the wall. And 30 miles per hour seems to be the sweet spot. So then with that, I decided to kind of calculate what the force of impact was with like newtons, kilonewtons, joules, all of that wonderful stuff. And it got very complicated real quick. We will get to that later, trust me. But for now, just so you know, I tried to use an online calculator for this stuff, like a car accident calculator, I believe was the name. But I mean, I don't know what happened, but the thing told me that basically the force that was applied for this little thing, it was the equivalent of 1,207,008 newtons. That is very wrong, for many reasons. More accurate way of beating a VTuber, the Zentreya. We went from a lycanthrope on the way to a cyborg. Now let me tell you something, my boy, this is gonna be interesting. I mean, you know me, I'm the Mars Parley, and whatever I do I must do it big. That is part of the promise, the experience. So real recognizes real. We got a lot to work with, but there is also a lot that we don't really know too much about. For example, her anatomy. How much flesh does she have left? How many implants does she have? Does she have to eat, or you just kind of plug her into the wall? I mean, maybe she's eco-friendly and she has some solar panels. Would love to be able to interview some of these wonderful people that I talk about one day, just to kind of ask them the more mundane aspect of their daily life. And so that I can poison them. Zentreya comes from another timeline, a world where malware, a rogue AI, absolutely destroyed, obliterated the world. And of course, she made a new one on her image. She's lucky I was not in that timeline. But Zentreya was a champ about it, I mean, considering the fact that basically all of humanity was almost extinct and there were, you know, a lot of robots just hunting her down almost every day for basically more than 30 years. I mean, yeah, not a pretty good place to live. And then you ask me why I have to make these videos. Long story short, she basically managed to go back in time in order to stop Melody and saving the world. And she failed. I know what you're thinking, but listen, I just don't trust Melody. She's in my top list of the most dangerous VTubers around. I think that she needs to be eliminated. But not for now. It's kind of funny. I'm sure that you're pretty familiar with the story of Zentreya herself already. I mean, she has already told ya. You just gotta go to her channel. So now we will be talking about her story, yes, but not in order to kind of like know what happened, but more so to find the details in it. But before we do that, remember, by watching this video you will agree on using this knowledge only if the subject on the video becomes a threat to humanity. If you fail to honor this contract, something very funny will happen near your pelvic area. Deal? Wonderful. Then let's begin to uncover the secrets of the cyborg cyberpunk, Zentreya. She was likely born sometime after the Mel apocalypse, judging by the fact that her parents found her in a scrapyard when she was a child, and also the fact that she couldn't really recognize what a cell phone was when she traveled back in time. Now that's tough. Something worth mentioning is that just before her mother sends her back to the past, she says something along the lines of, "It's been 30 years since we found you." We don't know how old she was when they found her, but that gives us a range of how much time it's been since she has been fighting against the machines. And that stands out to me. I think it's interesting, because of how Melody reacts when she first sees Zentreya on that day. That seems to be the first time she sees her, like, in general, and also the first time she hears her name. In about 20 years of fighting, let's just say, in a completely surveyed world, this is the first time she even acknowledges her existence? I see three possibilities. The first and less likely, this was the first time she went outside. Now, I don't think this is a good theory because of the way she handled herself. Under so much pressure in so little time, that is not how a newbie acts. Now, the second possibility is that she's just too good at being stealthy. I mean, I can't really speak for her skills all that much because I haven't seen her work personally, but hey, we can just leave that as a maybe. But my favorite theory is that she has always been the stealthy type, of course, but in 20 years you are bound to get sloppy. Now, I believe that there was one day when she got caught in the fire, leaving her in a possible critical situation, so much so that they had to merge her with the body of an android just to kinda keep her alive. That would really explain why she doesn't seem to have any mechanical implants on this picture when she was just a child, and also the way she didn't seem to appear on Malware's database, because she looked so much different than before. And maybe I'm right on the money. Maybe it's a combination of the three, maybe I'm completely wrong. One thing I'm confident in, though, is saying that she's definitely the stealthy kind. I mean, she's been hiding for 30 years, she uses a sword instead of a gun, and also the way her legs are shaped may help with the noise reduction, but I'm actually not that sure about that one. What does all of this mean? Well, for one, that it's going to be hard catching her off guard. Unless she's in shock. Car accident, baby! No, that's what I'm talking about! What the fuck was this noise, man? So, that car accident, definitely a mood killer, yeah, that absolutely destroyed her day. Let's say that the car was about 1,600 kilos or about 3,500 pounds. And let's say that the car was going about 30 miles per hour. Why? Well, first, the wall is intact. Then also the damage on the front of the car is not that significant really. And well, let's take this into consideration. Let's say that this car is reaching its maximum velocity, right? About, let's say, 170 miles per hour. If this car was going just on a straight line, it will need about maybe, I don't know, let's say 30 seconds, just to give you a number. Do you think that, seriously, Zentreya would be unable to see that car going that fast, or even just hearing it? That had to be just like a quick... Yeah, it had to be quick. 30 miles per hour, yeah. Or 13 meters per second. So let's do math. But I don't know how to say this in English, like I don't know the names for the whole mathematical... yeah. So I mean, just use the formula, man! This is what we use in order to find my good old buddy Julian, or like you can call it Julius. I mean Jules. What? Julius? So, let's say that approximately on moment of impact you could feast your eyes upon 143,888 joules. Decimal, but yeah, let's not get technical here. Now let's turn these bad boys into some kilotons. So now, if my memory doesn't serve me wrong, I believe that 1 kiloton is the equivalent of 1,000 tons of TNT. Could be wrong, but anyways, we are working with 0.0230991188360,367 kilotons. So let's do a quick. In the end, we got about 34.39 grams of TNT. So, just so that you got an idea, a stick of dynamite, which by the way, dynamite is not only composed of TNT, it has other components into the mix, but a stick of dynamite is about 1 megajoule. And the 34 grams that we have, that is the equivalent of what I already told you, 143,888 yada 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 of joules. So, a megajoule is a million joules. So you can see that. Now, the thing with all of these gypsy jips, you know, is that with joules, newtons, energy, force, whatever, it all really depends on how you apply it. So let's say a bullet traveling at around 15,000 joules, just hitting you in the abdomen is not gonna be the same as, well, a car hitting your entire body with the same energy. But I mean, jippy! You just need about 10% of the condensated power of a dynamite stick explosion at point blank to knock her out. hypothetically, theoretically, and maybe I'm wrong. But I mean, with this funny little piece of data, you could calculate how many floors you will need to be in just to drop a piano on her head and just end it all. But we don't have time to propose such a preposterous idea, that's just ridiculous. So now we know a little bit more about how resilient she really is. How about we talk about her speed? Which I don't think it's like super speed. If not, I don't see any reason as to why she would wait so long to carry the professor around when she was in grave danger at that moment. So I don't think that she gets tired that easily, if at all, but I don't think that she goes like Flash. I don't think she's a Flash. She's not that guy. Then on the strength department, I mean, she can punch a hole through a concrete wall. I think that's concrete maybe. And she can also slice through an indestructible body of a rubber. I mean, yeah, but what is indestructible? What does indestructible really mean nowadays? But I mean, she did it like if it was butter, so I mean, I have to give it to her. That's pretty cool. But Mart, first you talk about some nerd stuff, and now you're getting seduced by her strength. Get a hold of yourself! And to that I say, you're right. Listen, let's focus. Now, let me answer your question, because I know that you have it. Is high caliber ammunition going to be enough? And to that, I say, probably not. Don't get me wrong, I still think that with a high enough caliber you are gonna do some serious damage, but it's just that I don't think that she's all that dependent on, let's say, vital organs because of her cybernetic anatomy. It's not confirmed. She has the power of anime by her side, man. She's gonna split the bullet in two somehow. Explosion, that's the only way. But before you start your male pipe bomber career, let me be clear. We are talking about a rogue Zentreya running whatever. She's not going to open your package. She's gonna be roaming the streets like I don't know, a monster, whatever, rogue, berserk. She's going bananas. She's not going to check the mail. You can also try and run her over with a car, meaning Godspeed, attaboy. Not gonna lie, man, it's the first time I see a superhuman entity whose arch nemesis is a car. But I mean, hey, we all got our kryptonites. Mine are French dummy mummies. We're getting too lost in the sauce. Listen, we need to assess the situation, because after all, the LAWBV is all about stopping rogue VTubers, and we have to first consider what could trigger this change of heart. Why would the Zentreya go loco? Mind control is just too boring and easily solvable. Come on, give me some drama. Let's think. It's hard to imagine why she would betray us humans. I mean, she sacrificed her entire world, her reality, the professor, the doctor, mom, and dad, all to give us a chance. But she didn't know that. I mean, she didn't even know that she was gonna time travel like 2 minutes before the act. Imagine how hard that must have felt. Because with all of these time traveling shenanigans, you already know that either the professor and the doctor never met, and they also don't have any of their previous memories, or even, who knows, maybe they don't even exist. So for her entire family is gone, really just reduced to nothingness, even less than that. And I'm sure that she loves her friend VSHOJO, woo-wee, but still, I mean, come on, she spent 30 years in the gutter with these people, the camaraderie all-time high against all of the odds. Yeah, that must suck. She might look fine, but I've seen this charade one too many times. And you know, when dealing with trauma, you can take up a hobby. And Zentreya took a liking to a very interesting topic. You know what's the name of it? It's, oh yeah, interdimensional traveling. When the geckos from another dimension invaded the Earth, she already had an entire station prepared for just the occasion. I mean, she even sent them back. If she didn't know any better, how did she know how to do that? How did she open a portal to that dimension? Why was she so calm? As a matter of fact, actually, I quote, "I accidentally swapped all of the VSHOJO members with their gecko forms from the Geckoverse. Not sure how." You've got to be kidding me. Now, I want you to really look at that and just consider her story, right? Just take that into consideration. Yeah. Now let's just imagine that the gecko burst was just a test or a miscalculation, if you will. What's next? The problem with Infinity is that, well, it's just too long. So if she's looking for something very specific, she's gonna have a hard time narrowing that down. And you know, let me just say something. She's not the professor and she's not the doctor. She didn't know how to travel back in time herself. Still, she probably has some wits. And if she somehow figured interdimensional travel, maybe she did it with some help, right? But still, I don't think that she has what it takes. Yet. But you know who probably does have what it takes? A genius. Someone with an IQ of 999. Someone that is very familiar with the, well, you know, everything. If you have an IQ of 999, I'm sure that you can do a lot of things. Henia the genius, a woman with an IQ of 999. She was hiding away from the world until Zentreya appeared out of nowhere and just picked her up like a bag of potatoes and just took her to VSHOJO for reasons. Or maybe there are reasons. I mean, Zentreya, what were you doing there, buddy? Do you need some help? Do you need some help from a genius to help you with the little machine so that you can break the laws of physics and the law of nature itself? Probably, yeah. VSHOJO is no stranger to, you know, interdimensional or multiversal. Yeah, but they mostly do it through magic, and also they do it for funsies. Haha. Ooh-wee. I don't really think that they understand how dangerous that is. But, listen, if Zentreya acquires that power, things could go wrong very quickly. Because she has a purpose. She also has a reason to be afraid. She also has something to fight for, and she already lost a lot. And you know, if she really just wanted to pick mom and dad from another dimension where she became Super Saiyan 3 and just absolutely obliterated malware when she had the chance, she could just ask for it. But she's not letting anyone know. She has something planned. I just don't know what. At the very least, I don't know what exactly. So you take a broken woman and you give her the power to manage infinite possibilities, take infinite control over her own reality. I mean, pardon my French, but no creo que eso sea una buena idea. The thing is, with creatures that are naturally gifted with the power to travel through the multiverse, they usually know how to not screw things up. But Zentreya, she's an interloper. There are things, civilizations, creatures that you couldn't imagine beyond the stars. Her doing this? Oh boy. It's a gamble. And for what? Just so that she can be happy? That was actually very mean. I'm sorry. But still, you're gonna destroy this universe, so I'm gonna have to stop you. If this turns out to be true, I'm also gonna have to play my part on it. Because I mean, we don't even know if the other girls are in on it also. But listen, worst case scenario, if I'm not able to neutralize this Zentreya right on the spot, I'm gonna have to trust you on this one. Listen, this is what you're gonna do. This is a worst case scenario. You don't have to blow yourself up. But it will certainly be easier though. One way or the other, you are more than welcome to try something else. I mean, you already have all of the pieces for the puzzle. And I trust you. This is only episode 2, but I still feel like we have a very strong deep connection and you are a very reliable guy or gal. But let's get back to business. Listen, I know that you're probably wondering, if all of this is going on like on a low profile level, then how are we supposed to know if it is true? How are we supposed to verify the data? And listen, my boy, this is work in progress. Just leave this to me. VSHOJO has a pretty tight security, but just give me a little bit more time, and I will let you know if something happens. And if that is the case, you already know. But if you got some more information, or if you're sure that the Zentreya has gone loco, then you know who to call.